I'm a conservator with the Museum of Vancouver, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about integrated pest management with my houseplants.
Pests pose a major risk to museum collections. They feed on organic materials, such as wood, leather, fur, and textiles, and can cause major damage. In the museum setting, we're usually on the lookout for pests like mice, moths, beetles, and silverfish, and it takes constant work and monitoring to keep them at bay. In the past, museums often used dangerous pesticides. But today, to prevent or control pests, museums use a system called Integrated Pest Management, or IPM. This system is broken into 4 major parts: inspection, exclusion, sanitation, and monitoring, and helps us maintain a pest-free environment or control existing infestations.
Since I'm currently working from home, I'll use my houseplant as a stand-in for a museum object. Ordinarily in the museum, we rely on a schedule of monitoring, inspection, traps, routine cleaning, as well as the exclusion of food or any potentially infested materials.
Existing or chronic infestations are carefully monitored and active pests are dealt with immediately. Affected objects that can withstand freezing are frozen for a minimum of 2 weeks, sometimes repeatedly. Objects made from materials that can't be safely frozen, such as those with painted surfaces, beadwork, or elements made from shell, are instead deprived of oxygen. Once killed, all pests and any traces such as droppings, frass, or webbing must be removed. The cleaner the object and its environment, the less likely infestation will reoccur.
Now, I can't do anything as drastic with my fern, but I can use the same principles.
First step, inspection. I'd been wondering why my plant's leaves were sticky, so I turned one over and found a thriving infestation of scale insects. For centuries, the natural red-dyed carmine has been extracted from the cochineal scale insect and is still used today as a food colorant. However, I'm not getting any red dye out of these insects, so it's on to eradication. The initial process was pretty straightforward. I used cotton swabs and soapy water to clean away the insects. It's important to do some research to understand the pest you're dealing with, as well as any sensitivities of the plant. A bit of background reading told me to look for tiny juvenile insects hiding in the natural folds and crevices of the leaves, as well as the importance of rinsing the whole plant with water to dislodge others and to clear away the soap that might hurt the leaves if left on. Museum objects are similarly sensitive, and a lot of research goes into preventing unintended damage. But my plant can't just return to the crowded window. I have to keep it away from the other plants, or they're likely to be infected too. As previously mentioned, cleaning deters pests. For my fern, this means wiping down surfaces and leaves. The leaking sap and honeydew excreted by the scale insects can attract more insects as well as encourage mold growth. Keeping everything clean will help to make managing this current infestation much easier. I'll have to monitor for flare-ups and continue to remove any insects that survive, but this should save both this fern and the rest of the houseplants. To bring it back round, the same goes for the museum environment. Collections contain objects made of materials that are very attractive to pests of all kinds, and it takes constant, steady maintenance to keep them safe and pest-free.